They don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, most of them were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They will tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me.
Somali this, Somali that. Shut up, Naya. Shut up, shut up. Ohio was promised to us 3,000 years ago. And there's nothing you can do to change that, baby. I'm sorry.
Somalis are garbage. We are not garbage. We are doctors. We are police officers. We are teachers. We contribute to this country in every aspect of life.
And who are wearing hijab now think they are target. People who may have a less English proficiency, even though they're U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents, are now worried.
So you voted for the leopard, and now you're shocked that the leopard is eating your own face. Right now in Minnesota, Somali Americans who campaigned for Trump, who put on the red hats, knocked on doors and told their community he's different, he's going to save us from crime and fentanyl, are now hiding in their homes. ICE is rolling through their neighborhoods. Their kids, American citizens, are being told to carry birth certificates like papers in apartheid South Africa. And the same man they voted for just called them garbage on national television. But here's the part that got Black Americans saying, we told you so, with zero sympathy. Because this is not just about immigration. I'm talking about what happens when you spend years rejecting blackness, mocking foundational Black Americans, claiming you're not like them, and then running back to that same community, screaming unity the second the system turns on you. I want you guys to sit down, relax, grab your popcorns. We're about to talk about the politics of convenience, the price of denial, and why solidarity can't be a one-way street. Guys, let us get into it.
Look, y'all, I'm about to dead this comment. I'm about to dead it. Somali people know exactly where they come from, unlike some Black Americans who, due to history, may not have clear roots. You thought you ate, but you didn't. Let me tell you something. You are going off the colonial state of mind, brother. Black people in America know exactly where they come from. We know that we're exactly from America. Y'all the ones that think that we just got here 300, 400 years ago. But if you read your history, which I'm about to start giving y'all some history lessons on this live tonight, complete with pictures, references, and the $40,000 books where I get my facts. If you guys would drop your colonial state of mind and do research outside of what colonialism tells you to do, you would know that many Black families have been here for thousands of years. Thousands. I'm not talking about hundreds. I'm talking about thousands. I'm talking about when British came to invade back in the 1200s, 1100s, thousands, the 900s. When Britain came to invade, they wrote books about it. They did maps about it. They drew pictures about it. We are from here. And that's the problem, because y'all ain't willing to educate yourself. Y'all just willing to spew out some shit that white people didn't taught y'all, but that ain't even what it is, baby. My grandma, my particular grandma, her family been down there in Alabama for thousands of years before the invaders. Do you know how many families came to invade our prosperous land that you guys are acting like y'all don't know Black people is from? Do you know? Do you know? 13 families. 13. It took 13 different invasions for us to get here. So y'all really need to educate yourself, because y'all just saying shit that y'all heard, and that's like proves that your mind is just like a receiver. It doesn't even go and find its own information or process. You know what I'm saying? And that's what American education will get you, baby. That's what a colonialized education will get you. But if you research, follow me. Matter of fact, you don't got to follow me. I'm going to do the research and show you the references, baby. Because I'm so tired of this comment. Black people don't know where they're from due to their history. The thing about it is, Black people's history is in their DNA. We're remembering more and more shit every day. We're finding more and more shit every day. Black people, hundreds of us, have researched on our own time. Yeah, I got an associate's degree. Yeah, I got a bachelor's degree. But guess what I've been doing for the last 20 years? Researching my bloodline, researching the history of this planet, researching physics. You need to research all types of shit to figure out if Black people know what they're talking about. Because we do. We do. We do. And yes, there are, I'm not going to like say like, oh, there's no black people that came over here 400 years ago and was in slavery. Yes, they were. And I don't think they should get reparations, but I'm going to talk about all that on my live tonight at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I hope you're there. I'll be bringing every book I've ever read. I'll be dropping every piece of knowledge. I'll be letting you guys know about all the traps that they're setting up for you. Be there or be square or be dumb. And let me add this little bit of fact in there for you. Y'all be screaming, Somalis know where they from, Somalis know where they from, Somalis know where they from, but they don't. Did you know that? They don't. They don't. You know how many times Somalia has been invaded and the people have been dragged somewhere else on that continent? Do you know how many times that country's been invaded? The people there right now are a mix of Arabs and Black and Asian. Did you know that? That's how many times. That doesn't make them Somalian. Did you know that? That doesn't make them Somalian. That makes them a lost tribe, clinging on to the invaders, like the invaders' nationality, what the invaders called them, what the invaders told them they are. So y'all really need to dead that, because around smart, foundational Black Americans, that should sound like puppy chow. We gonna eat it up every time. I'll see y'all at 5.
Y'all, we have got to watch this Somali American man explain to this news reporter why he voted for Trump and now is instantly regretting it. Watch.
We're standing here right now. Mr. President, we campaign for you. We have hope in you. We see hope in you. Please differentiate between good, bad, and evil.
That's a Somali immigrant who voted for President Trump in 2024, but now Trump is demonizing Somalis in America, specifically here in Minnesota.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. I got 5 children. My children are no garbage. I campaigned for the president in 2024. I actually went out and we reached 50 million people endorsing Trump 7 days before the election.
What drew you to the president?
Because we believed he was an agent of chaos. We couldn't afford anything back then. There was a fentanyl crisis. There was an issue of affordability. The living standards went down. Crime issues. These are 5 very important things to us. And we believe that Trump would be the solution to it. I've been a Republican for over 25 years. I'm not going to stop being a Republican. But what I do know is for a fact is we're getting killed out here because people are saying, we told you so.
So you're the reason 50 million votes got in. You're the reason. And look at you now, okay? Yeah, of course we're looking at you like, told you so. Told you. Y'all had to wait until he specified. Like, no. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you. And in order for you to be like, oh, he's accosted me. It shouldn't have taken all of that. It shouldn't have taken for him to say Somali. You get what I'm saying? It should be a human factor. Oh my gosh. He's treating other humans this way. But no, you was like, oh, he's only talking about Spanish-speaking countries. He's only talking about the Hispanics and the Latinas and the Latinos or whatever. He couldn't be talking about us. Yes, he can. Do you think when he was talking about immigration and deportation and stuff, Black folks weren't looking like, well, hey, if he can take that back, he might get the boats going, okay? And you thought you were excused? This is why he says that y'all are not very bright. Because he'll sit there and tell you to your face, and only until he says your specific demographic, your specific gender, your specific culture, your specific race, that's when you're all of a sudden offended. Be offended because people are getting hurt. Be offended because humans are struggling. Not the race, not the culture of the human. There's a human. There are humans. And some of those are tiny humans.
Kids who are born here, never even been outside of the country, many of them are now having to carry their passports or their birth certificates. The women who are wearing hijab now think they are target. People who may have a less English proficiency, even though they're U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents, are now worried.
Ismail Warsami and Abdi Fattah Abdurrahman explaining the current experience of many Somali Americans, especially
Want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country.
President Trump there unleashing a tirade against Somalis earlier this week, at one point calling them, quote, garbage. His rhetoric coming amidst reports of ICE operations in Minnesota, specifically targeting that community. Alma McCarty talked with local Somali Americans here, and Alma, it sounds like they are understandably concerned.
David, the Somali community in Oregon pays attention to what's going on in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, which is home to thousands of people of Somali descent. Although the population here is smaller, the impact of this negative messaging hits home and drives many to worry.
Kids who are born here, never even been outside of the country, many of them are now having to carry their passports or their birth certificates. The women who are wearing hijab now think they are target. People who may have a less English proficiency, even though they're U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents, are now worried.
Ismail Warsami and Abdi Fattah Abdurrahman explaining the current experience of many Somali Americans, especially following some incendiary comments made by President Trump.
He said, and Somalis are not reliant, and they add not, as he said, they add little into the community. We add more to the community. We contribute a lot to the community.
A community now on edge, even in Oregon, after reports of planned targeted ICE raids in Minneapolis-St. Paul. Though administration officials say they're not targeting the Somali community, but instead enforcing deportation orders already issued by judges.
I used to do crisis management, and I'm one in my previous roles in the past. I'm doing full mode crisis management right now.
A big focus of the Southwest Somali community of Oregon, education, making sure people know their rights.
What to do if you encounter with ICE, if they come to your home, things that you do, who to call and what to do.
And I've noticed that when people understand that you know the rights, they tend to violate them less.
Down the street at Urco in Northeast Portland,
all the rhetoric, it's created fear in the community and creates so much confusion.
similar discussions and trainings are taking place for Somalis, for Afghans, and for all immigrants and refugees.
As a nation of immigrants, I think we're doing the right thing to support those who will become contributing members of our society.
And right now, that's offering as much help as they can during what they call uncertain times.
We create a network of support where family can go get food as well as get legal resources.
And Urco leaders tell me that another thing really causing confusion is the pause on immigration applications from 19 countries that the feds have flagged as, quote, countries of concern. Even if those immigrants have been here for years and are about to become a citizen, all of that is now in limbo. David?
Yeah, thanks, Elma. Appreciate all the context there and your reporting tonight.
Everyone has an opinion, so here's mine. In the state of Minnesota, they are home to the largest Somali population in the United States of America, with many of the Somalis arriving in Minnesota as early as the 1990s as refugees. Now, we have gotten to see their impact on our society. And let's just say, it's time to go. I hope President Trump sends the National Guard to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they actively remove every single one of you bastards. Listen, y'all talking about a land that was promised to you 3,000 years ago? From who? The United States of America and Minnesota did not exist 3,000 years ago. So what the fuck are you talking about? How could something be promised to you that wasn't in existence? That's a lie from the pits of hell. You people can commit atrocities. You're dirty, you're filthy, and I'm not saying all, but you don't represent the best. And we can just go back and look at Somalia, the country, and the shithole that your country is. And I guess we're supposed to feel bad for you as American citizens because we have it so good. But then y'all get over here and you take advantage of our resources and you send it back to Somalia. Then you want to come over here and you want to turn America into Somalia. Absolutely not. Minnesota, what the fuck were you thinking? This is what happens when you have liberals in charge. When you have bozos like Tim Walz in charge. This type of shit should have never been allowed to happen. Then look what's going on in Dearborn, Michigan right now. That town is completely unrecognizable. We're not a Muslim nation. We are a Christian nation. What are you talking about? Sharia law? Are you nuts? These people need to leave, bro. I'm sorry. All of that tugging on your heartstrings, and these are refugees and they had it so bad in their country. Their country is a fucking shithole, hence why they left in the first place. Now you want to come over here and turn our country into your country? Absolutely not. You're not coming over here. You're not going to take over. Every single one of my red-blooded American patriots, we need to stand up and unite. Forget all that black versus white bullshit, all of that brown versus black bullshit. At the end of the day, this is our land, not theirs. Take your ass back to the motherland. We're tired of that shit. We don't feel sorry for you. I hope Trump removes every single one of y'all. All of y'all need to go. At this point, enough is enough. We are tired of seeing our American cities being turned into foreign countries. There should be no place in America where I go and not be able to feel like I'm in America. This isn't your country, it's ours. But it's just my opinion, though. Love to know yours. Drop a like, comment, share this video, and of course, I need to help a brother out special.
Recently a lot of Somalis have been returning to their rightful homeland in Minnesota. And I've seen a lot of people propose like a two-state solution where, the Somalis, they get some parts and then the Americans, they can keep some other parts. But honestly, it's just a bunch of bullshit. I mean, it's written in the Quran, the Talmud, the Bible, that the Somalis' rightful homeland is Minnesota. I mean, literally, Genesis 12:3, it reads, Somalis should be in Minnesota. Like, why should the Americans never should have even settled there in the first place. I mean, they read the Bible. They knew that it was the Somali homeland. I mean, I don't know what was wrong with those fucking guys. Like, there needs to be one state in Minnesota, and it is a Somali state. It is a Somali state, firmly Somali state. And anyone who says anything else is an anti-Somalite, all right? Anti-Somalite, and I don't want to associate with you.
President Trump is once again going after Representative Imran Omar, saying he doesn't want Somali immigrants in the United States. In a cabinet meeting that he held earlier in the week, he called Representative Ilhan Omar garbage. This comment came after the administration said it's halting all asylum cases in the meantime after the shooting that occurred in D.C. The shooting is originally from Afghanistan, but President Trump has used the opportunity to raise questions about immigrants from other countries, including Somalia.
Look, I'm not here to celebrate anyone's suffering. That's not what we do on this channel. But I'm here to tell the truth. The kind of truth that makes people uncomfortable. The kind that gets you divisive. The kind that needs to be said. Right now in Minnesota, there is a full-blown crisis unfolding in the Somali American community. ICE operations, deportation threats, kids born on American soil being told to carry their birth certificates like it is 1955 and they need to prove they belong. Mothers in hijabs too scared to go to the grocery store. Community leaders in full crisis management mode, setting up legal aid networks, teaching people their rights, preparing for the worst. And at the center of it all, Donald Trump, the man some of these same Somalis voted for, calling them garbage and saying he doesn't want them in the country. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a machete. But before we get into the politics, we need to talk about something deeper, something that's been bubbling under the surface for years in Black, immigrant, and diaspora communities. We need to talk about identity, denial, and what happens when you reject your blackness until the system reminds you that they still see you as black. Somali Americans have been in Minnesota for decades. 3.5 maybe. Refugees fleeing civil war, building businesses, sending kids to college, but becoming doctors, teachers, cops, military officers. They've contributed. That's undeniable. Tens of thousands of them are American citizens or legal residents. They pay taxes. They are Minnesota. But there has always been this tension. See, many, not all, but many members of the Somali community have spent years publicly distancing themselves from Black Americans, saying, we are not Black, we are Somali, comparing themselves to Arabs, some even mocking foundational Black Americans, calling them lazy, calling them complainers, saying they play the victim. I've seen it, and I hope you've seen it too. The diaspora has seen it, and foundational Black Americans, the descendants of enslaved Africans who have been here fighting for civil rights, ending segregation, building the legal framework that allows immigrants to even have rights in this country. We've been watching, we've been taking notes, because here's what a lot of immigrants don't realize. The reason you can come to America and not face legal segregation, the reason you can start businesses without being redlined into oblivion, the reason you have any protection under the law, that's not because of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Fannie Lou Hamer, Thurgood Marshall, foundation Black Americans who bled for that. And when you come here and trash that legacy, when you say, I'm not like them, Black Americans remember. So now Trump, who ran on demonizing immigrants, who called Mexicans rapists, who instituted Muslim bans, who has always been clear about his xenophobia, wins the elections 2024. And some Somali Americans, they thought they were different. They thought he's talking about other immigrants, the illegal ones, the criminals, and not them. We are legal, we are citizens, we are good ones. That was a classic mistake, by the way, because to white supremacy, to xenophobia, to fascism, there is no good ones. There is only not white enough. So they campaigned for him, they endorsed him, they told the communities he's going to fix the fentanyl crisis, he's going to stop crime. And now, ICE is in their neighborhoods. Trump is on TV calling them garbage. Now they're crumbling, organizing crisis meetings, teaching people how to respond if immigration officers knock on their door. And they're turning to the Black community and saying, we need unity, we need to stand together, we are together in this is about us. No, you want unity, guys. Where was this energy when you're all on Twitter saying, you're not Black, you're ranting on TikTok calling yourself not Black? Where was this solidarity when foundation Black Americans were getting killed by police and some of you went silent or were saying, well, if they just complied? You can't trash your neighborhood. You can't trash your neighbors for years and then expect them to rush to your defense the second you're in trouble. That's not how solidarity works. Solidarity is not a panic button. It is something. It is not something you can activate when you're in an attack and ignore when it is someone else's turn. Now, I want to make something clear. I'm not saying Somali Americans deserve this. Nobody deserves to be dehumanized. Nobody deserves to live in fear. Nobody deserves to have their citizenship questioned or their kids traumatized. But I am saying this is a lesson. A lesson in what happens when you align yourself with power structures that were never designed to protect you. A lesson in what happens when you think proximity to whiteness will save you. A lesson in what happens when you reject the very community that has been fighting the same system for centuries. I think about my own family, Jamaican and Ghanaian roots, foundation Black American bloodline. I think about the conversations at the dinner table, the code switching, the constant negotiation of identity in a country that sees you as a threat, no matter how many degrees you have, no matter how much you contribute, it's just you as a threat. And I think about how many of us in the diaspora have had to learn the hard way. America doesn't care about your news. America doesn't care if you're not like the other blacks. America doesn't care if you came here legally, if you speak perfect English, if you wave the flag at every parade. When the system decides it's your turn, it is your turn. And the only thing that has ever protected Black people in America, immigrant or foundational, is unity, solidarity, and collective power. Not respectability, not assimilation, not distancing yourself from those other Black people. Unity has been the only weapon. So here's where I am at with this. I feel for the Somali community, by the way, and I do because I know what it is like to watch your parents care. I know what it is like to feel like the ground is shifting under your feet. I know what it is like to realize that the country you thought was home sees you as disposable. But I also feel frustrated because this didn't have to happen like this. If the Somali community had spent the last decade building bridges with the foundation of Black Americans instead of burning them, we'd be in a different place right now. We'd be talking about a different story. If they recognize that our struggles are connected, that anti-Blackness and xenophobia are two sides of the same coin, we'd be standing together already. And instead, we hear with Black Americans saying, "We told you so," and Somali Americans saying, "We need help," and both sides hurt, both sides angry, both sides exhausted, and meanwhile, Trump and his administration are laughing at us because this is exactly what they want. They want us divided. They want us too busy arguing about who is really black or who deserves solidarity to actually build the power. We need to fight back. So, as I come to the end of this video, I want to give you some solutions that I think might work. To the Somali community, it is time for some real talk. It is time to acknowledge the harm. It is time to say we were wrong to distance ourselves from Black Americans. We were wrong to mock the community that paved the way for us. We see you now and we want to build with you, not just when we are in crisis, but always. And to my foundational Black Americans, brothers and sisters, I get the frustration, I get that we told you so, but we can't let our anger make us complicit in someone else's oppression. We can support the Somali community while also holding them accountable as well. We can offer our solidarity while also demanding reciprocity because they are coming for all of us. If it is a Somali today, it will be the Haitians tomorrow, Nigerians next week, and for nation Black Americans, you'll have been an attack. This is not new for you. So we build power together or we fall apart separately. And to anyone else watching this who's still playing the "I'm not like those other Black Americans," whether you're African, Caribbean, whatever, I want you to hear me clearly. They don't care about your flag. They don't care about your passport. They don't care about your degree or your business or how well you speak English. When they look at you, they see black. And until you accept that, you're going to keep getting blindsided. This is the Bantu Merchant. Thank you for watching. We talk about the truth they don't want you to hear. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. Let me know, am I wrong? Because I'm ready for that conversation. Guys, I want us to build together as the Black community. Thank you. I hope to see you in the next one.